Hi everyone, welcome to another Procreate Dreams animation tutorial. This is the animation that we will be creating in today's video. We did draw this in a previous tutorial in Procreate, so if you want to draw yours yourself, if you haven't already, feel free to just check out that tutorial first and draw your own version of our little sunset skyline here before you start animating it. But if you either didn't draw it or don't want to draw it, you can totally use my file. I have that linked in the description below. It's totally free to download. Just save the file to your iPad so that you can import it at the beginning of the video, and that has all my layers on it so that you can use them to just do the animation part. So if you are new here, I mainly post Procreate tutorials and Procreate Dreams tutorials, so if that is something you are interested in, go ahead and subscribe. I also offer extra tutorials over on Patreon, so that is linked in the description below if you'd like to check that out. So at the very beginning of the video, we will go to Procreate to export our drawing file. So if you drew your own, stick around for that. If you are using my file, skip ahead to this timestamp here, where we get straight into Procreate Dreams and set up our stage. So either have your own drawing or my file ready to go, and then we will go ahead and get started. Okay, so if you have your own Procreate drawing that you are working with, we will just be in that drawing and we do nothing to our layers at all. We should have our circle, our little overlay streaks, our baseline, all of our buildings in a group, our little water lines, our building reflection, our water like rectangle, our clouds, and our background gradient layer. I am just going to take a minute to rename these. So do that if you wish to, and then once that's all done, just go ahead and go to our gear icon, go to share, and share it as a Procreate file. It will export and then just save it to your files. Rename it if you would like to. Okay, then once that's ready, we'll just pop up into Dreams, go back to our main screen, and then we'll just click our plus icon in the top right, set it to square again, and click empty. Okay, let's make a few changes before we get started. So click on your dream number button here to bring up all of our options. Under properties, we'll leave our frames per second at 24, change our duration to 10 seconds. Our width and height we will change to 3000. If your iPad allows, I know some iPad models allow for a smaller size, so just make sure you have a square, whatever the highest sized square you can get, where both of these numbers are the same. Then under timeline, I'm going to set it to loop. This is just better to preview our animation. It's not a looping animation, but that's how we can just kind of rewatch it each time. Okay, then go ahead and click done. And now we will just import our file. So let's click our plus button here, click Files, find the file where you saved it, and click Open. Okay, now we have our design here. If you need to resize it for your canvas, if you had to have a smaller square, just tap on it, and with one of the corners, it'll just resize with the center. So just do whatever you need to do to resize it so it all fits inside. Okay, then I'm going to stretch this out so we can see our 10 seconds and hold on this thing that says drawing and click convert layers to tracks. Then click the little arrow here to open up all of our different tracks. So now all of our layers are on different tracks for us to animate. So this top one here is our group that selects our whole group, and then we have our circle, our streaks, our base, our buildings, which are also in a group, so that should have another arrow there, and then everything else. So let's just go ahead and get started. Let's start with our circle at the very top, our outer circle layer here. This at the end, it's going to start outside of our screen, and then it's going to come in at the very end. So let's just go ahead and do that first so that it's kind of out of the way. So on our outer circle track here, let's move our playhead down to maybe 7 seconds. This is where it will start coming in after everything else in our animation is done. So with our playhead set there, click the movie button, move, and scale. Okay, so at this 7 second mark, we want it to be off the screen. So I'm going to tap it And using one of the corners, I'm just going to increase the size. Zoom out if you need to increase the size big enough to where the corners aren't imposing on our stage at all. So like right about here. Okay, then I'm going to go down to maybe 8.5 seconds. That's when it will be in. I'll tap there to create another keyframe for move and scale. Tap into it and let's just set our scale back to 1 for each X and Y. So then that will just be our main regular size that we had at the beginning. Okay, it automatically set a keyframe at the beginning where it's still just set to our normal like size. So then it'll expand out and then come back in. We don't want that. So let's hold on this initial keyframe and just click delete keyframe. And then it just should start out and then it'll come in right at 7 seconds there. Hold on this move and scale and click set all easings and switch it to ease in and out if it's not already set to that. That is what I like, so I'm just going to play it from right before that so we can see it come in. Beautiful, and then it stays there for a little bit till the end so we can still see it. Okay, so that's our first step. Next track is our streaks track. That's going to stay as is. We won't do anything to that. Then we have our base. This is our base rectangle here. We are going to have that kind of roll in from the left. So to do that, we are going to go to the beginning. On this track, set our playhead there, tap our movie button, move, and scale. Okay, we are going to have this first keyframe set, click into it and set our scale X to 0, leave our scale Y at 1. Let's say it takes about a second to come in, is also at 1 second here. I will tap to create another keyframe. Click into it and set scale X back to 1. So then if we play from the beginning, it stretches out from the middle. And none of the buildings will be here, so like, when it's gone at the beginning, it looks kind of funny. Like you can see the bottoms of our buildings, but they won't be here yet. They'll be invisible. So no need to worry about that. You can either have it roll in from the middle like this if you want, or if you want it to roll in from the left, which is what I'm going to do, I am going to just go down to 1 second where it's in. Have it highlighted here, so tap on it if you need to highlight it, and then click this 3 dots and click Edit Anchor. And I'm going to drag my anchor to the left side, right in the middle, right there, just right on the very left side. And that is where our anchor will be, so then if we restart it, it comes in from that side. Okay, it comes in pretty quick. I think it's still set to ease in and out, so I'm going to leave that. But you can mess around with the different easings if you want. You can set it to like ease in, so I think it'll start slow and then go fast at the end, or you can just do linear where it comes in just pretty steady, but I'm going to do ease in and out. Okay, next up are our buildings. So I'm going to tap to open up this group of buildings and we are just going to go one by one. I'm just going to start at the top here. I just want my middle one to be last. So if you need to adjust your layers depending on your drawing, if you use my file, it's already the bottom one, but make sure that this is the bottom one, our middle building. So that should be the bottom layer in this group of layers. So I'm going to start at the very top one, which happens to be my left building, but yours can be in a different order. That's totally fine. But we are just going to go one by one and start having these pop in, doing a similar thing that we did with our baseline here. So on our first building, I'm going to start at 1.5 seconds. That's when our first one will start to come in. Click our movie button, move, and scale. Okay, let's first tap on our building, click our 3 dots, click Edit Anchor, and we're going to drag it to the bottom of this rectangle. So the bottom middle there, so it'll come up from the ground. Okay, so let's edit that anchor first, and then go ahead and click Done. And then on our move and scale line here that we created, let's go down to 2.5 seconds. That's when it will be fully in, so it'll take 1 second every time. So at 2.5 seconds, tap to make another one, and this is where it ends up. Tap back to our one at 1.5 seconds, set our scale Y to 0, leave scale X the same. Hold on our first keyframe that popped up automatically and click delete keyframe. Then if we start right before this, it should just pop right up from the ground. I'm going to leave it on ease in and out, but feel free to do whatever you wish. But now we're just going to do that for each one. We're going to stagger them each just a little bit, maybe like 1/4 second. So then our next one here, layer 8, let's go ahead and do like 1.75 seconds. Tap the movie button, move, move, and scale. Okay, same thing where, let's see, it's this one over here for me. I'm going to tap my 3 dots, edit my anchor to be down in the middle. Then I'll tap 1.5, like 1 second away from this, so at 2.75-ish seconds. Tap to create another keyframe. This is where it'll end up. Let's just delete our first one entirely, so hold on the first one, click delete keyframe. So now we just have our 2. Let's go to our first one again and set scale Y to 0. So let's just watch that again. So now this one pops up. Okay, so we're just going to keep on doing that. I won't watch it every time, but let's just keep on going. So the next one will be at 2 seconds. Movie button, move, move, and scale. Tap the 3 dots, edit anchor, drag it to the bottom. Tap down a full second, so at 3 seconds. Tap to create a keyframe there. Leave that one alone. Delete our first one. Now our new first one here at 2 seconds or whatever, scale Y to 0. Okay, next layer, again, let's go down like 2.25-ish seconds. Tap the movie button, move, move, and scale. Let's see, that's this one here. 3 dots, edit anchor. Down at the bottom, 3.25 seconds. Another keyframe. Delete our very first one, our new first one, scale Y 0. Okay, now we're at 2.5 seconds for our next one. Movie button, move, move, and scale. 3 dots, edit anchor, down at the bottom. 3.5 seconds now. New keyframe, that's where it's at. Delete our very first one. Tap into our new first one, scale Y 0. Next one, 2.75-ish seconds. Movie button, move, move, and scale. Okay, edit the anchor down to like 3.75 seconds. Another one. Okay, delete the very first one. Next one, 0. Okay, next one's going to be at 3 seconds. Movie button, move, move, and scale. Edit the anchor. Okay, down to 4 seconds. Delete our first one. 0. Okay, next one. I only have 2 more left, I think. So 3.25 seconds. Movie button, move, move, and scale. Edit the anchor. Down a whole second. Okay, delete our first one. And set this one to 0 for scale Y. The last one here is our main guy. So I'm at 3.5 seconds. Movie button, move, move, and scale. 4.5 seconds. Movie button again. Let's edit our anchor. Okay. Delete our first keyframe. Tap into our other one here. Set to 0. Okay. Now I'm going to zoom back out a ways here so that I can see everything a little bit better. Start at the beginning. Zoom out on my screen as well. And then we'll just play it through. So then our thing comes across. All of our buildings start popping up. And then our reflection will pop up now. And then our circle will come in. Okay, let's see. I'm going to minimize this group of buildings now. So I'll find my top building group layer here and click the arrow to minimize those. Then our next track is our water lines that we will leave alone. Our next track after that is our reflection. So this one we're just going to have fade in after all of our buildings come in. So I might start it at like 5 seconds. We'll see how that goes. So 5 seconds, I will tap on this reflection movie button. This time we'll click filter and then click opacity. I'm going to set the opacity here to 0. Okay, a little further down the line, let's say it takes a little while for it to all come in. So it comes in kind of slow. Might be like 8 seconds for it to fully come in. We'll see how that goes. So down at 8 seconds, this little opacity button, I'll click to make another keyframe. I'll set it to like 72, which is what it was at. So 75 or so, that's all the higher we want it to go. We don't want it to be 100 ever. So maybe 75 at the end there. Okay, let's go back to the beginning, delete our first keyframe on this line. Okay, so then let's maybe go to like 3 seconds and we'll just play it again. So watch the buildings continue to pop up and then our reflection slowly comes in. So first of all, let's change our reflection to be linear. So hold on this opacity bar and click set all easings to linear. Okay, then let's see how that goes. Maybe that'll help a little bit. So it kind of comes in a little better. Okay, so our next track is our water track. That one will be left alone. The one under that is our clouds track, and this we are going to do something different with. So we want our clouds to move across the screen from left to right as we go, but with our Procreate picture, it cuts it off at the edges, so we don't have anything outside of this like drawing on our square. So we're just going to get rid of this track entirely and add a new cloud track. So hold on this track and click delete content, but we still have our track here, so that's fine. This is where we want to be. So I'm just going to set it to the beginning, my playhead here. I'm going to click this button to go into draw mode, this little squiggly line. Okay, we are going to find like a grayish color, so it's going to be kind of like a grayish creamish color. So I'm on like orange here, and then I'm up in this like upper left side. That's kind of the color that we're going to go for. Okay, then we need our clouds brush under the elements category. Set our size, set our opacity to 100 on the brush, and then set our size to like 10. Click on this little timestamp thingy here and click hide onion skin because it'll turn purple or something when we're drawing and I don't like that. So then just with our brush, let's go ahead and just make some new clouds. So I'm just going to start on my main screen here. I'm going to go just kind of through and make some nice horizontal clouds. Got the sky, they'll look gray right now, but we'll change the blending mode soon. And then they won't be gray anymore. I might up the size a little bit to like 20 actually. So let me do 20 so we can fill up a little bit more space. That looks better. Okay. So something just kind of like this on our main screen, and then I will start working to the left. So then to the left of my stage here, I'm going to keep on going with that. Just making some nice like horizontal streaks of clouds and never going too low. We are under our water layer, so it's fine, but yeah, just kind of trying to keep in line with that, and I'm just going to keep going a ways off the left side here. Nothing too crazy. Maybe about like this. Just kind of end it wherever you end it. Does not matter. Okay. Might go back through and add a little more to my main part here. Okay, so then this is what I have for clouds. So now on our little layer here, or our track here, let's just zoom in, and we only drew on this one frame. So hold on this little drawing piece and click fill duration. Also drag it to the beginning if you need to, just extend it so it takes the whole timeline. Okay, let's first set our blending mode so they don't look gray anymore. So hold on the track and click blend mode and click scroll down to overlay. Okay, and now we want it to move from left to right. So then set our playhead to the beginning, click our movie button and click move and scale. So our first one's going to be set there. Okay, then we'll go all the way to the end at 10 seconds. Tap to make another keyframe. And this is where we want it to be all the way to the right now. So I'm just going to drag this to the right until I see the left side come in. And we don't want to go in too far where it's like going off, just where the red box kind of comes and hits the left side of our stage. Okay, let's hold on this and click set all easings to linear. Go to the beginning and let's play it and see our clouds move as our buildings and stuff come in. Awesome. So if you want them to move faster or slower, that is possible. If you want them to move faster, you need to add more to the left side and redo it. And then at 10 seconds, there will be more to come in, so it'll just need to move faster to get there. If you want it to go slower, you can simply click on this last one and just drag it back to the left a little bit so that it doesn't have as far to go. So, you know, if I move it to like here and then I click play, they'll go slower because they're not trying to go as far. Okay, so with that done, and that is actually our last step of our drawing. So if you need to move anything around, go ahead and do so. Let me just watch it again. buildings all come in. Like, I think I want my reflection to come in a little bit sooner perhaps, so I might go back to my reflection layer here and just drag this first opacity slider to like 4.5 seconds. Drag this last opacity keyframe to like 7.5 seconds, so it still takes the same amount of time to come in, but it just starts a little sooner, and then our circle comes in. So I'm going to tap on this with 4 fingers, and this is where the looping part comes in handy. So now it just plays over and over again from the beginning so that we can watch it and check for anything that we might want to change. Otherwise, that is it for our animation today. So I hope that you had fun. I hope that you liked the way that yours turned out. I hope that you maybe learned something new. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and leave any feedback in the comments for me about this video or anything you'd like to see in the future. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out on any future tutorials. And if you'd like to share your animation on Instagram, I would love to see it. So go ahead and post it there and then tag me so that I can check it out. And while you're there, go ahead and give me a follow so you can see what I'm working on next. Thanks for watching.